Good morning. How you doing? I'm on my way to work, and well, as I said the other day, when you get in the car, you get thinking about work, and then I thought, hey, well, there are situations at work that are not always pleasant, obviously, and one of them is when you have to deal with incompetent or jealous people, or people that always work in a shadow from behind, backstabbing people, that kind of stuff. So I'm sure you have that at work. And if you do, this video is for you. So, my name is Vivi. I used to be a medic, a firefighter, and 911 operator. And I now work as an executive in a company here in Europe. So, you're not the only one. I promise you. I still have this going on my day-to-day basis, basically. And it's not easy to deal with. It's really not. I've been there. I've done that. Get a T-shirt, But I did learn to master it, because in the end, you're just there to do your job, right? I mean, in my case, I have several profiles of these type of persons. It goes from other executives, owners of the company, simple co-worker that has been there all his life and is just a kind of weird character, right? Good guy, but always goes from behind. So at the beginning, when somebody literally gets onto you for about just about anything that you do for your natural growth process, right? You're in a company, you've been there for a few years, you start getting more responsibilities, you're doing good at it. I mean, your methodology, your relation with people, all of that is starting to bring their fruits in, and you're starting to shine, whether you want it or not. This is what happens whenever you're invested in your work, when you like what you do. But you're always going to come across with that person that's going to, pick about everything that you do or don't do. If you do it good, it's not good. And if you don't, well, it's not good either. And then you're thinking, well, what the heck am I doing here? So let me give me the news. Let me break the news to you. The problem is not with you. The problem is with them, all right? But it does affect you. Obviously, it does. Hell, it affected me, and I'm always there to help all my coworkers, including them. They come to you because you're, the type of person that always is there to help everybody, and you just decide to put your differences aside and you want to help them. But then all of a sudden in a meeting, well, you didn't do this, or you didn't do that, or passive aggression and making themselves look good. Well, look, this is what I did, and this is my client, and blah, blah, blah. So it's very, very annoying. And you've got to use a lot of psychology into this. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to have to apply take a deep breath and let it go, because obviously you can't punch them in the face. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I want to, but you just can't, First of all, it's illegal, and well, you need a job too. Especially if it's a job that you like. You don't want to get to that. So I've snapped. I'll just go to my boss and say, all right, look, I messed up, and this is what happened because such and such this. I mean, we have this guy that's been trying to get out of a specific department, but he has not been willing to help or build the new generation that comes in, and he expects them to do what he did 20 years ago. But I'm like, dude, things have changed in 20 years. Generation is different. You have to understand the new generation coming. You have to teach them. You have to coach them. The motivation of these people is not the same as what yours were, etc., etc., etc. So that's one guy. On top of that, he goes behind their back, talks behind their back, goes to the boss, sneaking in his office and say, hey, well, look, they did this, they did that. But yet, he does not want to be part of that department, and he's not helping. So he's not doing anything to help his colleagues. So we lost about already 4 highly qualified people that were supposed to take over this department. And in the end, they end up in a limbo, and nobody wants to be in a limbo. When you go into the company, you want to know what your purpose is, what they expect from you, etc., right? So that was one case. Then you have the other case where, well, I would say owner-operator. In this case, this person is not an operator. I mean, they spend, I want to say 70% of the time outside of work, and they don't understand why the results don't go up. Meanwhile, here you are, working, giving yours 100% every day, so. But sooner or later, this will come to light, whether you want it or not, whether they want it or not. I mean, they're going to expose themselves. And I did have that recent experience. I mean, I've been putting up for this for the last 5 years. I climbed in the corporate scale about 5 years ago. I got new responsibilities. I love what I do. I absolutely do. Mostly because it's very challenging, and then there's not a single day that's the same as the one before that. So, and we were in another city doing an event, and when you work and you network, you meet people that are going to meet up with you in those places. So these people came up and say, big hug, hey, how are you doing? Great to see you, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. And those technically are friends of that specific co-worker, right? That was there also. Didn't get into too thoughts about it. I just went on with my life. But 2 weeks later, I had another event. I had a meeting in Madrid, and I met up with one of those guys. Said, hey man, I gotta tell you something. I was like, okay, what? It's like, just to let you know that coworker is very jealous of you. I'm like, really? So I already had a feeling about this, all right, because the way she was acting toward me is not normal. I mean, I'm not, I'm not a shareholder. I don't make more for what I sell, what I don't sell, what I say for the company or not. I mean, I'm very good at what I do. I had feelings, based on the feedback I was getting from her and her behavior specifically. But in that time frame, the 2 weeks after that fair, several people came up to me and told me that without me asking. We just talked about things in general. So this is something that obviously shocked people. So that told me, well, that reinforced the fact that I don't have that promise. The problem is not me. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I went through therapy years ago. I read books. I listened to so many podcasts, etc. But I am still human. So even though I give you all those advices, I want to share with you my experience, unfiltered, no editing, on what a day-to-day is. And it is true that still today there are some apprehension before going into meetings, but I am much more convinced now. I'm 100% convinced that I'm not the person with the problem. So what you can do about it? Well, you have to document everything that you do, obviously, as a good person as you are, right? These people are going to give you the cold shoulder. They're not going to give you your answer to your messages. When it's work related, I talk work related, all right? They're not going to acknowledge how good you are at your job, and they're even going to drag you in the mud. They're going to tell you, oh, look, this is not what this was said, or this is not what, in my case, this is not what Vivi said or did. I mean, this is not what happened. Actually, it is happen, but they don't have a clue about how the business runs. So obviously, they're the one that actually end up in the spotlight, but not in a good way. So document everything, emails, stay on top of your things, keep going. And before anything else, focus on all the good things you have around you. This is fundamental. You've got to remember all the good things, because I'm sure that except those small details, if you think about it, they're small details. I mean, they're tiny, bitty, buggy, small details, but you don't have to go eat lunch with them. You don't have to go to dinner with them. You don't have to share your life with them. It's just those hours of the day. Sometimes can be long. And naturally, you're going to have to, distance yourself and just do what you have to do during meetings, because I caught several times, this person trying to say, well, Vivi didn't say this and Vivi didn't say that. And you get to a point where I'm like, oh, look, seriously. And you switch your computer screen, like, there it is. I sent you this, it's in red, it's your name, it's such and such name and copy, and it was sent that day. And then obviously, the blame would shift. Oh, well, I guess I must have a computer problem because I didn't see or I didn't read that message. No, and I'm thinking deep inside myself, yeah, you're too busy doing other things because you can, us common mortals, we can't do that. But anyways, that's my personal opinion about it. I have a total different way of handling my accounts and working, and that's not one of them. So, but anyways, keep up the good work. Drill that into your mind that the problem is not yours, it's theirs. You are doing great, and you have to do this. Good job. Whoever it is that read this or that is listening to my short episode, remind yourself constantly that you're doing good. And even if you're not doing good, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn from them. This is why you are where you are. As long as you learn from your mistakes, you don't repeat them. And even if you repeat them, at one point you're going to stop making them. This is called practice. This is called life. This is called the process, Don't let some unsecured, selfish person get in your way, all right? This is your growth, not theirs. If they want to get stuck in the past and not understand how today's society works, how today's society evolves, how the market shifts, how do you have to adapt to all those changes, that's their problem. It's not yours. Keep up the good work and do not ever compare yourself to these people. I mean, you are light years ahead of them. Light years, all right? Have a great day. I'm going to have my coffee, even though normally I have a coffee with you guys, but every time I get in the car, there's something that pops in my mind. So I want to share it with you guys. So have a great morning, have a great day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next episode. Click and like.